Welcome to this week's program. This week, we look at the mayhem which has been visited upon Nairobi. The County Assembly of Nairobi is in turmoil. City Hall is in turmoil. Why do we have this confusion and drama every day in Nairobi City County? What is happening? That is what we unravel in this program. Now, Abraham Lincoln, the famous US president, was a president during time when America needed a leader most. Lincoln, confronted with a variety of trials and obstacles that tested his leadership traits to the fullest. But key among this was that Lincoln was known as a master listener. He was a master communicator, and he was actually a master of his emotions. Isn't this what we need in Kenya today? Isn't this that we need in Nairobi right now? A person who listens, a leader who provides foresight. This is because Nairobi is a big shame of itself. A city in the sun, you say? No. Clearly, we are now learning that choices have consequences. Kenyans, please note this. All this that we are witnessing is Jubilee made. It is a Jubilee mess. Governor Sonko is a Jubilee party member, is a byproduct of Jubilee, and no one in the ruling party can run away because he was known even when he was serving as MP for Makadara before he became the senator of Nairobi and later now became governor. All that time, he was known to have a penchant for publicity, drama, and more drama. And now, the president has to deal with a monster which his party helped to create. We need to give it some history, some background to be able to understand this man, Governor Sonko. First of all, we must appreciate that the man was massively elected with a lot of votes, nearly 1 million votes, as governor against Dr. Ivan Skidero, who was governor at that time. He was good. So Sonko came in as governor until money and interests came in. You know, the city of Nairobi County gets their lion's share in allocation of resources. Last year, for example, the city was allocated 15.9 billion, nearly 16 billion. And the second county, that is Turkana, received 10.5 billion. Of course, this does not mean I'm forgetting what the city county collects as revenue. And this is where the problem starts. Money. Yet, this is the East African regional hub with about 4 million people, slightly over 4 million people, who need to catch up and need services. Yet the city is a far cry from what it needs to be in terms of organization and in terms of service delivery, not only to Kenyans or Nairobians, but to the entire region, because it's clearly a regional hub. But when Governor Sonko took over as governor in 2017, we started seeing threats, sackings in the city county, and in the end, the deputy governor one Polycarp Igave, who he had been given literally to run the city with, while Sonko did his politics, parted ways with him. He eventually resigned, and he said publicly he could not work with the governor of Nairobi. Now, the city stayed and continues to stay without a deputy governor because of differences of administrative in nature and personal in nature and ways of operation. With no deputy governor and with Sonko playing games, the same money problem took Sonko to court for corruption and money laundering. He was and still is barred by courts from office. A terrible situation with no deputy governor, with a governor who is barred from office. Mess. So last year, when the heat was very hot in the political kitchen, that is Nairobi, Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko invited the president, his Jubilee party leader, and his president to take some functions away from the county to the national government.
Kama msaada yako Nairobi, Mheshimiwa Rais, kama ni revenue chukua huko national government. Kama ni planning, Mheshimiwa Rais, ichukua pia ile national government. Kwa hiyo njia ukinisaidia Mheshimiwa Rais, cartel zitazikwa kwa kaburi ya sahau, wananchi wapate maendeleo, vijana wapate kazi, mahospitali ziwe na madawa, mashule iweze kujengwa.
In fact, he was very emphatic publicly that some cartels were giving him sleepless nights and he was not able to deliver service to wananchi. This led to the signing of the deed of transfer in February this year in State House, which led to the birth of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services, led by one Army General Abdallah Badi. Now, since NMS came in, Sonko has been resisting the work of NMS, and because he has also been largely ignored by NMS, and everybody for a while seemed to think that Sonko had resigned or at least disappeared from the scene. Although we know he is fighting court cases, he has discovered that the man who took over, General Badi, and the NMS is now throwing him to political dustbin. And his re-election strategy, or even his politics, is disappearing, is being messed up. So he is now back with a bang, and we have a resurgent Sonko. What has he done? He has started by announcing that he plans to leave the agreement which he signed with the national government to transfer 5 key functions to the national government. And now he actually said that he was intoxicated when he signed the agreement at State House. And that now brings several questions. One, if the governor was actually intoxicated during the signing ceremony and he never read, how come he never read the second amended deed of transfer, which he actually signed days much later? Secondly, how many, Kenyans will ask, how many of other agreements or documents has he perhaps signed on behalf of the county, and we don't know? Because that is very, very important. This being the first, perhaps there are many others. However, what is certain from all this and the deed of transfer is that the recent explanations, the recent resurgent Sonko tells us that he is indeed out to ensure he is not, or he does not lose political power and by that extension, financial power in Nairobi. Therefore, what we see in the announcement to get out of the agreement is part of Sonko's strategy to see to it that he regains control of Nairobi through many steps. Step number one is to see that he takes control of the County Assembly of Nairobi, which is the nerve center of operations. And he knows he can rally everybody else, even MCAs, using many methods, including financial inducements. But then, that may not be helpful. May just be a step, but not very helpful. He knows also, secondly, that he has to have a speaker who is friendly to him in the county assembly. Together with that, he knows he needs a clerk in the county assembly to be able to work his plans in the county assembly. And this explains why we have 2 clerks in the county assembly. Thirdly, county assembly speaker Beatrice Elachi unfortunately finds herself in a tight spot because General Badi, the man at the helm of NMS, entirely depends on her to run the county of Nairobi. Why? Because most of the things require legal approval, require county approval for any step to take effect. And therefore, the county speaker is very important.
And I just want to tell my governor, what are we fighting for? What is this in the air? Are we fighting our shadows? Because if I ask my governor, just put down what has the speaker refused to do, which is in law, which is by the Constitution, the County Governments Act, or anything you have sent to me and I have refused to do, calling me a witch. I am not a witch.
But due to many other factors, it seems Sonko still has a significant number of people, including in the county assembly, that he seems to control, and therefore his stature is still there. So, what does the resurgent Sonko tell us? First, it tells us that his first strategy is to see Speaker Beatrice Elachi out of the county assembly as speaker. That will help him to dump or to leave the agreement he has to create NMS with the national government. He can only do that because the approval or disapproval has to happen in the county assembly. Secondly, Sonko knows too well that if he doesn't fight NMS and General Badi, he will lose a lot politically and even financially. Unfortunately for Uhuru and Jubilee Party, which is the ruling party, as things stand now, Sonko is still governor and he has a lot of leeway and money to influence many activities in the county. Because technically, although he's bad from setting foot in the office, he is still the county governor of the county of Nairobi. This explains the powers he has. Just the other day, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission wanted to search his office, private offices in Upper Hill. What did he do? He sent a battery of lawyers to court and they got an order stopping that. That shows you that the man still has influence, still has the money to buy, to hire many lawyers, many good lawyers in this city. The effect of the ensuing war between Uhuru and Sonko, which is turning ugly, is Nairobians who suffer from poor service delivery. That deed of transfer sought to cure the same issue. Now, the cure becomes the problem. That is for you Kenyans. The other effect is that the money and influence at the expense of service delivery is helping to paint Nairobi in bad light. The fights, the drama is making Nairobi look like a city in turmoil. Yet Nairobi, ironically, is a hub, a regional hub, and houses headquarters of major international organizations, including the UN, the UNEP, and other organizations, which should not see this kind of drama happening. Unless President Uhuru Kenyatta and Honorable Raila Odinga, his friend, marshal their troops in the county assembly and in the entire city to ensure Sonko does not go haywire and disrupt a well-intentioned NMS and its leadership, then Nairobians should be ready to get endless poor service. We shall continue analyzing for you to bring you the story behind the happenings in Nairobi. So until next time, it's bye.